Fatality.
This is the Randi Rhodes Show.
Oh, yes.
To speak with Randi, dial 561-270-3844. That's 561-270-3844.
All right, so tomorrow it's going to be hectic if you're a court watcher with regard to Trump's, troubles. Trump's, civil troubles, his, criminal troubles, RICO troubles, racketeering troubles. Yeah. So Fani Willis is going to attend a evidentiary hearing tomorrow where the people that are accusing her of a conflict of interest will produce evidence to show that she has a conflict of interest. Not. It will not happen. She will not. She will not be shown to have had a conflict of interest. She has a boyfriend. Okay. She's single. She's allowed. Anyway, that's tomorrow. And also tomorrow in New York, oh, God. In New York, there's going to be a motion to dismiss by Donald Trump the hush money case, which obviously is more than just paying off Stormy Daniels. It was an election fix case. It was, trying to keep bad information away from voters. So that case doesn't move me one way or the other, but that's what court looks like for Donald Trump tomorrow. And then on Friday, Donald Trump is going to hear the verdict that was reached in the fraud case against the Trump organization. Like whether he inflated, not whether, the verdict was guilty, libel, for inflating the assets that he had for the purpose of insuring them, the value, and deflating the value of the assets he had for the purpose of taxation. Okay, so it was tax fraud, insurance fraud, fraud, he's the fraud, right? And so Judge Engeron in that particular case has reached a verdict about damages. Okay, they already found that Donald Trump did commit fraud. That's not in question. What's in question is how much did Trump gain by committing fraud. That amount would be disgorged, meaning taken back from Donald Trump because he got it through illicit means, fraud. So the amount that could be leveled, the amount that could be, awarded to banks and to insurance companies could be about $370 million that Donald Trump is on the hook to pay back. Now, we already know he's on the hook to pay back E. Jean Carroll, okay, $83 million? So he testified, and if anything is to be believed that comes out of his mouth, that's an issue for you to decide, not me. But he testified under oath, of course, in a deposition that he had $400 million in cash. So if he had $400 million in cash and the rest is assets, right, and he's been adjudicated to pay 370 plus 83, that would be, for Indiana, more than 400. And so he would have to start selling assets, see. And that would be bad, right? Because it would be a fire sale. Everybody would, he already sold the post office, the old post office in, Washington, D.C., because he needed cash right away because he needed lawyers. Now he's asking you to pay his legal fees, and Indiana is probably doing it. He's probably doing it. $50 million he's paid so far from the presidential campaign coffers. Okay, he's fundraising off of your ass and then paying lawyers that you could never afford or never be $50 million to defend him, and they're doing it poorly. He's losing everything. He lost last night. Now the House has got a one-seat majority. One seat. And you're like, he's going to win. No, he's not. But he could cheat. And that's what's so frightening about that man, is he could cheat. And this is, the fix is starting to be in this manner, in this way. So the Republican National Committee, okay, that was, Ronna McDaniel that Donald Trump handpicked to be the chairman of the RNC. And she just said, I can't pay your legal bills anymore. We only have $8 million on hand. Oh, my God. The Republican National Committee only has $8 million left. You're talking about, it costs $1 billion to run for president, okay? And you're saying she's got $8 million because he is literally stealing all the money for himself. Oh, my God. So anyway, he fired her. Now he's proposing that an election denier and his daughter-in-law be in charge of the Republican National Committee so that they can continue the grift, so that they can continue to funnel the money to Donald Trump ahead of the election. And then during the certification process and everything else, okay, they will insert themselves and do something really untoward about the delegates if the delegates don't go their way. Do you know? And you know who knows that? The woman you will never vote for. I don't know why that is. She's a perfectly reasonable candidate. If you're a Republican, I'm not a Republican. But if you're a Republican, Nikki would look pretty good to me right now. But that's because I read, and I'm sober.
You'd make a terrible Republican.
Well, I know. I'm sober during the day. I don't day drink. I'm not. I shouldn't say I'm sober because that means I don't drink at all. I do. I'm like Taylor. I can pound them down, but not during the day. But anyway,
the former president yesterday endorsed a group of loyalists, including his daughter-in-law, to run the RNC now. The idea, reportedly, to bring the campaign closer to the party. What do you make of that?
He's just trying to control as much as he can control. But we don't want a king in America. That's the problem.
They heard your criticism earlier, and they responded. Trump campaign spokesman said, quote, Nikki, brain dead, bird brain Haley reeks of desperation as it's clear she knows she has no shot and is now auditioning for a cable news contract when the 15 minutes are over.
It's a weak response. You know we're under the skin because you saw what he did at the rally on Saturday.
Over the weekend, Donald Trump questioned the whereabouts of Nikki Haley's husband, who's serving a year-long deployment in Africa for the South Carolina Army National Guard.
Where's her husband? Oh, he's away. He's away. What happened to her husband? What happened to her husband?
he's deranged.
Where is he? He's gone.
You know, to mock my husband, Michael and I can handle that. But you mock one member of the military, you mock all members of the military.
Wait a minute.
The reality is he's talked about the military for years now in disparaging ways. Suckers, losers, John McCain, Gold Star families. What's different now? What's different this time?
Before, when he did it, it was during the 2016 election. Everybody thought, oh, did he have a slip? What did that mean? The problem now is he is not the same person he was in 2016.
Now, that was not a slip of the tongue, okay? Suckers and losers, he said, when he was president, number one. Number two, he went to, what's his name? The chief of staff, okay? He went to his son's grave with him and asked him, he said, I just don't get it. What's in it for them? Like, why did they, why do they do this? Why do they, sacrifice their lives for their country? So he was president when he did that, okay, at the son's grave. And the thing about John McCain, that was not a slip of the tongue. He said, John McCain is not a hero. I like people that don't get caught. Also, he confuses Nikki and Nancy all the time. He doesn't know, like, who's who, and Friday is Saturday in his mind. So, but what's really interesting is she worked for him after that. And now she's sitting there claiming the high ground on, if you disrespect one troop, you disrespect them all. This is new for you. This is really new. Also, the fact that you raised your hand at the debate. When you were asked if he's indicted, if he's convicted, would you still vote for him? And you said yes.
After the most recent attack on your husband and other military families, you said, quote, he's no longer qualified to be president. How do you square that with raising your hand on that debate stage, saying you would support him even if he were a convicted criminal?
You
Right.
all signed a pledge to support the eventual Republican nominee. If former President Trump is convicted in a court of law, would you still support him as your party's choice? Please raise your hand if you would.
There she is.
I have said any of those 14 would be better than Joe Biden because everybody sees how diminished Joe Biden is. I will also tell you, there is no way that the American people are going to vote for a convicted criminal. They're not.
But you said you would.
They're not.
But you said you would.
No, that is not the question. Every Republican nominee signed a pledge before they could even get on the debate stage
True.
that said, if that we were not the nominee, would we support the nominee? And I said yes, and I stand by that.
Oh, Nikki. But she's a better choice than Donald. I mean, she's lucid. She's not delusional. I don't think she's going to invade blue states. I don't think she'll set up camps. I don't know. Could be wrong. But why won't you vote for her, Indiana? Why? What's wrong with her? What is it? She's brown? Don't have time to listen to the live show? Want to hear more on your schedule? Go to randyrhodes.com and buy a stinking podcast.